These are cassava leaves. We're eating them today. We pick them from the field and grind them up. Then we cook them and add bicarbonate of soda. My children don't like them, but that's all we have, so they don't have a choice about eating them. When I have had nothing to eat, I get very hungry, and then I can't produce milk for my baby, so he just keeps crying and crying.
I really need food. I would have the energy to work in the field if I had enough food.
We work our little bit of land as hard as we can, but we don't produce much because we don't have any inputs. And when we manage to buy them, they are not enough. It's true. I do piecework for other people because we don't have enough food. But if I had enough farming inputs, things would be better.
My children don't go to school. I don't have money to send them. When I think of just how hungry they are, it's hard for me to prepare them for school when they don't even have energy to go. I can't do that.
On the 1st of August 2005, Professor Jeffrey Sachs and his team met with the President of Malawi, Bingwa Mutharika, to discuss what would be needed to achieve the Millennium Development Goals in this poor landlocked country of almost 13 million people. Malawi was facing a potentially catastrophic food shortage in the months ahead. Failed rains and inadequate fertilizer meant that last season's harvest met only 1/2 of the national food requirements. All thoughts of longer-term development were sidelined by the need to prepare for the crisis that would lie ahead.
When food is scarce, I just have one meal a day. The children and I go to bed hungry. What else can we do?
The Millennium Project team visited the village of Mwandama in southern Malawi to discuss the establishment of a new Millennium Village. When the team met with the community, it was clear that the community's first priority was food. The people of Mwandama are farmers. They have grown maize for generations. They knew exactly what they needed, and it wasn't food aid.
I have enough land. If I could cultivate it, the land would feed me and my children throughout the year. But on my own, there's not much I can do without seeds and fertilizers. My children and I will just continue to go hungry.
This is the story of how practical steps were taken by impoverished communities with the support of the government, the UN, and the Millennium Project partners to avert hunger and malnutrition for more than 65,000 people living in rural Malawi. With the rainy season now rapidly approaching, the project was able to mobilize the necessary funds and political support to obtain enough fertilizer and seed for all 1,000 farms in Mwandama and another 10,000 farms in the surrounding villages.
What is so special with the distribution of inputs that is taking place here today in Mwandama is that the households are getting enough inputs recommended for their portion of land. They are getting 10 kilograms hybrid seed. They are also getting 50 kilograms of fertilizer, which is the Bezo 1, 2321, and 50 kilograms of urea as a top dressing fertilizer.
Another 2,000 farmers received inputs in central and northern districts of Malawi. In return, all the farmers agreed to contribute 2 bags each to a grain bank, which will be used for a school meal program and as a food reserve for the most vulnerable in the community. With guidance and encouragement from the local extension workers, the Mwandama farmers quickly prepared their land and were ready to plant the improved seeds and apply the fertilizers soon after the rains came in November.
The change that I can see is that I'll harvest more. Yes, I'm still poor, but I have peace in my heart because of what I can see. I may still be struggling for now, but I know my labor will be fruitful. So deep inside, my family and I, we are filled with happiness.
You can tell the size of an unborn baby by the kicks it makes, and it's the same with maize. You can tell what type of yield we will get from the way the maize looks in the field. We have maize with huge stalks, so I know we are going to have a bumper harvest.
As the rainy season progressed, Mwandama was getting greener and greener. But despite the prospect of an excellent harvest, the household stocks of food were depleted. The hunger was worsening, and poverty was taking its toll on the poorest.
My baby died yesterday. I took him to a private clinic in Tondwe. While I was there, they took his blood sample. They didn't tell me what was wrong with him. They just asked me if I had 130 kwacha. I said no and gave them 60 kwacha. They told me they would have given me better medicine if I had had the full amount. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to work hard despite losing my baby, up until the day the Lord calls me. I'm still strong and I will work hard. I'm not going to give up.
The harvest in Mwandama began in May 2006 and was the highest anyone could remember. Instead of the normal 5 or 6 sacks of maize per acre, for the same hard work, farmers were able to harvest more than 50 sacks on average. Some harvested as much as 70 sacks per acre.
I'm so happy that I have enough food this year. Last year, I only harvested 6 bags. This year, I managed 32.
With the harvest we got, I can now cook porridge for the children in the morning. I couldn't do that, but now I can. School attendance has also improved since the harvest. Now all our children go to school every day.
I see such a great change now compared to last year. In the past, I would work and get only 1 bag. However, this year, with the seeds and fertilizers from the project, I managed to harvest 16 bags, and I've been able to give 2 back to the village grain bank.
This year, Mwandama will not be depending on food aid. There will be no need to migrate to cities and towns in the hope of finding some work. But the story does not end here. The results mean new challenges for the community on how to store grain safely and how to market the surplus.
The training today basically is the practical part of how to construct the food grain bank for the village and the crib, the drying crib for the village. So that at the end of the day, all participants will feel they will construct in their own houses for their own maize.
For the first time, the farmers of Mwandama can think about diversifying into higher value cash crops like cabbages and groundnuts, and even buying cattle and goats. This is the first step on the road to sustainability and self-reliance.
If only you knew how people feel. It's like cream flowing on the inside of them, so to speak. What we see today is something I have never seen in my life. And I'm pretty old, but it's really happening this year.
Now that I've got enough food for my family, the next thing that I really want to do is cabbage production. I think that cabbage production can be profitable. There are plenty of people who want to buy cabbages at Tondwe market.
The community still faces other challenges. Their water supplies are few and unsafe and often result in sickness. Malaria continues to kill children and sap the strength of adults. The schools are poorly equipped and staffed. There is no transport or telephone in case of health emergencies. And there is no electricity. Much more needs to be done. This is the challenge ahead for the Millennium Villages project. Overcoming hunger and revitalizing farming is an important beginning. We have seen how better seed and fertilizer can unlock the potential of Mwandama's land and people. But in the coming months and years, the project will work with the community to invest in better health services, including a new clinic and bed nets to fight malaria, improved schooling with the school meals program using part of the farmers' increased production, clean drinking water, and better communication with the outside world.
We really need to have our own health center here in Mwandama, because the existing clinic is just too far from here. The school is also a long way away, so we also need to work hard to build a school close by, so that our children can take leadership positions in the future and lead meaningful lives.
Here we can see a house being constructed, and this is just one of the many houses which are being constructed in this village. Just because people have more food this year, they are extending their resources to building better and bigger houses. And this is just 1 year after the project started. So you can imagine how the village will look like in 3 or 4 years' time from now.
Mwandama is just one village in Africa. We cannot directly apply Mwandama's experience to the whole continent or even to the whole of Malawi. But there are some powerful lessons. First, the knowledge to save and improve lives is there. It just needs to be applied. Second, communities are waiting for the opportunity to respond. Despite hunger and illness, the people of Mwandama in just one season demonstrated their resilience and resolve. They knew what they wanted and were prepared to work hard with those who had the resources to lend a helping hand.
I will walk tall like a man. I am not being boastful, but I've harvested much more maize than most people in the village. Some people couldn't believe it was really me who harvested all this maize.
Anjira Uchanya.